Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 211. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to put an asterisk on the arc of the good vibes and begin an arc within an arc. Now hit our theme song!
One take.
Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole bunch is going down. We are recording on Halloween Day.
Yes.
We are releasing on another important day. I'm not sure what day that could possibly be, but if you're down in the land of the free, please remember that a country is its people, not its leadership. Everybody stay safe.
Ooh, I like that. It's a message right from the top of CCO Nation.
We got some stories to tell, a really cool deck to talk about, some cards to preview, and a new arc to talk about. But before we do any of that, we have to thank our official sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're a source for all your gaming needs.
Very much so. A place that you can get Commander Legends, of which we're talking about. And you piqued everybody's interest when you said some cards to preview. That doesn't mean we have a preview card.
No, we don't. Not yet.
No, and probably never.
Can Sol Ring be the unofficial CCO preview card, even though it hasn't been spoiled as of today?
Spoiled yet? Yeah, we don't know if it's going to be in the set.
As of October 31st, 2020, when we're recording this show, Sol Ring has not been spoiled. But if it does get spoiled, you heard it here first.
Yeah, we said it was going to be in the set when we did our YouTube Commander Legends returning mechanics or not.
It has to be.
It has to be, but it's not yet. Like, you'd think it would be. But like, they're putting Prismatic Piper in every pack. Why not Sol Ring? Well, because they're doing the every commander thing.
Yeah.
Right? We're off topic. The point is, Commander Legends. We're talking about it today. We're talking about a deck. We're using this deck to exemplify or not exemplify if Commander Legends is going to contribute to or help fix the shortcomings of certain colors or color combinations. And this is going to be the arc within the arc, like you said, of Commander Legends reviews. We wanted to do something interesting, unique, something that wasn't just like try to cram 20 cards into an hour like all the other content creators. So we're going to start a little bit early and use our community decks, CCO Nation's decks, to bring you guys the Commander Legends reviews. And once the set launches on November 20, right?
That's when we can pick up our stuff at the store. I think pre-release would be the week before, no?
Yes.
So
yes,
we'll have it in our hands on November 13th, I think.
Yep.
And then we'll be able to release all of our cool YouTube content that we have in the wings working on it on the 20th.
Yes, so we are going to... You touched on it. You beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch. I was going to say, all of the cool Commander Legends stuff you can get November 20th, FusionGamingOnline.com, exclusive CCO promo code, CCO Fusion 5% off your order. Watch for the deal of the week. We didn't talk about the deal of the week. The deal of the week is like 15 or 20% off, like whatever the deal of the week is.
So the deal of the week has nothing to do with the card of the week. Week.
I like how you did the echo and people could see that you were just doing the echo. Commander Cookout Inside exclusive right there if you watch it on YouTube. Big thanks to all the new YouTube subs.
Great to have you.
Very much so. The point is... I don't even remember the point now because the card of the week. Go to Fusion, you can get the singles. We're gonna get a ton of product for this. I've got the pre-release 6-pack. How fucking perfect is that?
It's almost like they're thinking of us when they made that.
Yes, pre-release 6-pack. I would love to do a video where we just like 6 packs, 6 beer each. Just fucking one video.
And then the next video would just be our tombstone. They could have it from our funeral. All of our pallbearers would be F.U. Evan and Aiden. Yeah. Maybe Steven and Lenny would make the trip up, right? They have their hazmat suits on. They'd be walking, carrying us.
So good. They'd have to dig under the fucking border because they're from the land of the free. The land of the free, home of the trapped. Oh, man.
Wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got there.
So we're starting off the review. We are going to have a proper Commander Legends set review along with a Commander Legends legendary creature sort of highlight show because there's like 100 of them, right?
I got an idea for that I haven't told you yet.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be fucking good.
Yeah,
People are gonna like that.
That's not a month, but like 2 or 3 weeks away at this point. So we're good for right now.
Yes.
But it's all going to be an arc within the arc. There's a lot of negativity surrounding preview season sometimes because like, oh, this is going to be too expensive. Why is this foil $999? Which it's not. This card's too powerful. Ban it. This is broken. This sucks. This is like here at Commander Cookout Podcast, during the arc of good vibes, we want to highlight the things that are good in the Magic community.
And we can certainly acknowledge it. The set, I think that the power level of this set is below expectations.
Do you think so?
I do. But
except for one or two cards.
Except for 1 or 2 cards, which is fine.
Yep.
But I think that the power level of the cards is right where I think at least, personally, have been screaming that the power level of the game should be the whole time. So there's a bunch of splashy, almost do nothing, pay 9s. And yeah, like if you open that, it's kind of a feels bad in your pack. It
sure saves
sucks.
Legacy though.
But yeah, the Legacy players are happy about it.
They're like, whew, fuck.
And a couple of people have said to me on social media already that maybe this set isn't the set that has all the cards that are going to boost all your current decks to the moon.
Yep.
It's going to be the set that inspires you to build newer, more fun decks.
Yeah, sneak interesting things, right? This is not War of the Spark where we're jamming 87 new planeswalkers. This is not Modern Horizons where they gave us all these lands and powerful planeswalkers and unique, very undercosted because modern things, right? This is Commander. These things didn't exist prior. This ability, this effect, this archetype, this color combo didn't exist in this way. Here's the introduction to it. And now that it exists, we can maybe print some things over the next X amount of years to bolster it, which I think is an important reason for this set to exist because it's the start of like a Commander revolution in that over the last couple of years, we've been seeing hyper, ultra, mega powerful stuff, mostly in green and blue, which is what it is. But here's this thing. It's right for Commander. This is for Commander. This is what Commander players want. Right? But Commander Legends has been in development for like 7 years. And they're like, over the course of the history of the format, let's call it, even though it's older than 7 years, I get it. It's the internet. I got to fucking have a disclaimer.
That ball's sad.
Yeah. Over the history of the format, they've taken what's fun, what people like, what doesn't exist. They've taken some of that negative space, and now they're just trying to fill it, right? If you think of Commander like a big fucking pie graph or a shelf that you have to like fill all the different holes on, that's what they're doing with this set. And I think
it's like that board game Perfection.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that where you'd wind it up and then you have to put all of the different shaped pegs in the different shaped peg holes before the time runs out and it blows all the pieces out?
But no time limit, I don't think, hey? We don't want to give them a time limit because then they just give us like shit that they think we want, like every other like regularly scheduled release set, right? Right?
Well, we get both of the things because they put all sorts of super high-powered Commander cards in every other set.
I suppose.
You know what I mean? If you want huge, low-to-the-ground power creep, build your decks to kill on turn 4 shit, just wait for the next set to come out.
Yeah.
You'll get it there.
Okay.
If you want stuff that makes your Commander decks a little bit more unique or gives you inspiration to build something new, then maybe you'll find it in this set.
I like that. And you're in the right place because we're going to be talking about it for the next few shows, Arc Within an Arc, Commander Legends Preview Mini Arc.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to use, like we said, CCO decks. You had mentioned you get at us on Twitter. You were reading on social media. You're at CCO Brando. I'm at CCO Podcast. Get at us anytime. DMs are open if you have any opinions. Tag us, tweet at us with preview cards that you think that we like or that you want to use in interesting ways. And let's talk about it because there's a lot of legends and we're like 2 guys and we've got the Discord and stuff. It's part of the Patreon benefits, but we don't necessarily think of everything. So if you give a unique, cool spin, maybe we can use it.
Now, steal it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Use it for ourselves. Yeah.
Trademark, patent pending.
Absolutely.
Murder you.
Put it on a shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Show up at your house speech with a lead pipe so you can't spill the beans. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of showing up at people's houses with lead pipes and spilling beans, and we're going to be on some streams coming up.
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
One stream is going to be already over by the time this airs, but the next one. So you talk about both of those streams because you kind of orchestrated all of this.
Okay, we're doing round 2 with the Canada Geeks tomorrow, so if you missed it, you can probably catch a video of the game on their YouTube channel. It's the Canada Geeks on YouTube. They wanted another shot at me, I guess, after I
Yeah.
devastated them.
Twitch.tv/The Canada Geeks.
Yep.
Show notes will have it, or if you find us on Twitter, we both tweeted out that we're going to be on it, and I linked and I commented on your tweet with the link to the Twitch channel. So that's going to be lots of fun. I'm coming to your house because my internet sucks.
It's going to be a good time. And the next week, Saturday afternoon, I think 3 o'clock EST, we are going to be on the Into the 99 podcast /stream. We're going to decimate some more Eastern Canadian, our Eastern Canadian brethren, and that's going to be a good time
What
as
a
well.
bunch of fucking guys. It's from out east, hey?
I know, right? It's like, let's show those prairie boys how they do it.
Yeah.
And then we show them exactly what's going on. Maybe we 9 brash taunter them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that happened.
Oh, hey, that was your good vibe of the
That's
week.
my good vibe of the week, because we just talked about it last week on the show where I ran downstairs and I punched myself in the face and I immediately put a brash taunter into Brutaclad.
Yep.
The next game I played, it fucking happened.
You BT'd times 9?
I could have, Ryan, had like 12 7 dwarves, just swung in for the win.
Like 144 damage?
Oh, yeah, so much damage. Didn't.
Brash taunter.
Did not. Brash taunter. Oh, man. And it was, and then there's sweepers coming down. Doesn't matter.
Indestruct.
I got 9 brash taunters, and then I waited for FU Smitty to have a great big Omnath, and then everybody else was in getting killed by that Omnath range, and it's like,
Oh, yes.
So I went to fight the Omnath to kill Aiden, and then Justin tried to kill Omnath, so that I couldn't use the Omnath to
Then
kill
you
him
used
afterwards.
another brash
And then I
taunter?
used a brash taunter to kill Justin, thereby countering his kill spell, and then killing Aiden anyway, and then I killed Smitty. Oh, brash taunter,
Yep.
baby. It fucking happened.
That's
It'll
it.
probably never happen again, but I'm going to try.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Never say never.
You may or may not prioritize brash taunters within game.
Who can say? Who can say what I'm going to do, Ryan?
That's it. My good vibe is it's Halloween. We got the Halloween spooky bus.
Hell yeah.
My development has like about 13, 14 houses in it, right? I mean, you've been there. Yep. I don't need to tell you. But our one neighbor bought a bus like a couple years ago because he lived in
School bus.
Yeah, school bus.
Okay.
Lived in the mountains and wanted to like convert this house into like a little cabin where him and his friends take this bus up to the mountains to snowmobile. Most Canadian fucking thing ever, hey?
Yeah.
Drink beer, snowmobile, live in a fucking bus.
Yep.
And he moved to Saskatchewan instead. No mountains to be found.
No, you can't even see a mountain from here.
No, we got like a hill over there. There's sort of.
Ish, yeah.
It just looks like a hill because there's trees. So he's got this bus, and he's like, well, 2020 and the whole pandemic, and we can trick or treat here. It's not like the government barred us from trick or treating. Rest in peace if your government did. Sorry. Ours didn't, but, you know, everybody and then lots of people, and they don't like it, and they're not into it. They're not going to answer the door. They don't want to give candy out, blah, blah, blah.
Whatever.
Our neighbors and our family and our houses were piling a few. We're meeting restrictions still, or within restrictions, piling some kids on the bus. We're driving around to the houses, and if we're over our numbers for like an interior space, the dads are just going to like drive behind on quads and side-by-sides. The kids are just going to like hop off the bus, bang on some doors. We live in the country, full chocolate bars, bags of chips.
Shit, yeah.
Drink some beer. Rebecca made like
The kids aren't drinking beer. It's Ryan and the other dads.
Yes. Rebecca made about 60 pudding shots.
Shit, yeah.
With alcohol in them. Yeah.
And you brought 0. I provided beer and cheesecake this morning.
Yes.
And
well, I didn't want. We need to be fit and trim to be able to podcast at the highest caliber for the longest period of time.
We're drinking beer right now, Ryan. They're right outside. They're on the other side of that.
I just touched my eye. I'm a heathen. Okay. Last thing before we get to the deck, the commander, and if you were the winner or not. I mentioned the Patreon page. We're gonna be using Patreon submitted decks from the preferred deck list channel or our email, commandercookout@gmail.com. Joe can put it on the screen now. For this mini arc. One of the benefits is to becoming a patron is the CCO nickname. And we don't have any new patrons this week, but we do have a guy who wants a second shot at his nickname.
Okay.
So we do like to say thank you, F you, shout out people who increase their pledge. He unlocked the the preferred deck list tier, and that's Jeremy Grybas. It's the same shit last time. I don't know how to fucking say it. When it comes out of my mouth, it sounds different than in my head. And we called him Grubber, and he's not into it.
Well,
as if he gets to fucking pick.
Yeah, as if he gets to decide. Jesus. Well, and then after hearing his name again,
so I said Jeremy Grybas wants a new name.
And after I punched myself in the face when I'm coming up with this the first time, it's obviously Jeremy Grabass, right?
Jeremy Grabass.
Which is totally good with the time.
Because you can't shake hands.
Well, everybody knows that you're not supposed to touch your ass and then touch your face. And now we have it right in this guy's name, and he'll never forget again. All those times that he wipes his butt and then like kind of looks at it a little bit and is like, oh, I have an itch. He'll never do that shit again.
You're also not supposed to shake hands with people and then touch your face because
they might have done that. They might have touched their ass and then...
Not what I was going to say.
Jeremy Grabass. Thank you for your support.
Jeremy Grabass. I think that is on par with other CCO nicknames.
I hope so.
Lest he increase his pledge to get a new nickname again. Oh, that's great. I hope that he likes it. Welcome, F you, you're already a member, but welcome anyways, because that's what I say.
Yeah.
We have got a deck. We're a few minutes in. We did talk about some Magic stuff.
We did talk Magic stuff.
So all you YouTube haters that shut us off because we don't talk about Magic stuff, directly right at the start of the show.
Got you.
Yeah, F you.
Fuckers.
Who's the commandy for today?
Audrey Lunark Marshal. He is a 3/3 human soldier for white 3, and he says on his card, there's a novel. I'm going to see if I can read it without fucking it up. You ready?
Do it. One breath.
At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control has first strike, the same is also true for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance.
I think I made you do that last time that we read this card too. And of course, the hints were he has a glowing, luminous sword. It looks sort of like an equipment.
This looks 100% like an equipment card still.
Our friends over at Commander's Brew like this guy because they do the Audrey versus Audrey
arm wrestling match.
Arm wrestling match, that's right. And Sean Connery just died?
Yeah, and he kind of looks like this.
Is that fucking real or is that some fake news shit?
I'm sure it's true.
Well, he is old.
Yeah, like it was on my Twitter this morning. The Iron Sheik tweeted out about it, and the Iron Sheik is never wrong.
That doesn't sound real.
Also, if you're not following the Iron Sheik on Twitter, you definitely should follow the Iron Sheik on Twitter.
Okay.
Should we do it? Should we do a deck?
Let's do a deck. We've got Audrey. We're going to get to it right now.
Okay, so beginning the deck, we are on a tapped out list today, sent in by our good friend in real life, super brave hero of a bar that had a shooting in it.
Yes.
And all around good dude.
And all around new dad. Well, not new dad yet, but is pregnant, or at least Sheilane is pregnant.
Congratulations, guys. I didn't know. Nobody told me.
I told you.
Did you tell me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I forget everything.
That's okay.
But congratulations, you guys. That's great. Adding new members to the nation.
That's right. And of course, everybody knows we're talking about Callum Brown Star, Patreon supporter, local community member, purchaser of Altars That I Do, supporter of my actual other... I guess my home business, I guess.
Every Thursday on our Facebook page.
There it is. Yeah, check it out. Of course, likes and follows welcome.
So he sent this in. It's untapped out, so we're going to start with creatures as we usually do. Normally, I would have screwed everything all up and made them not in alphabetical order, but I didn't do that this time, so we're just going to start at the bottom, work our way up.
Yes, and we have some clumping. We are playing what we kind of consider the Audrey deck. We're playing things that have flying, first strike, death touch, lifelink, cards that go in the deck so all of your creatures or Audrey can get those. We were playing like an aggro white deck with a backup Voltron commander. And the goal of the deck and the goal of this mini arc is to exemplify what the deck does or what the color does, in this case white, and then take a look at some of the Commander Legends spoilers and try to discern whether or not Commander Legends has helped the color.
I dig that. It's like science.
This is fucking science.
We're doing science today.
Magic is science.
Let's start
especially according to I won't go there. Let's clump based on cards that have abilities that we care about. That way we can go a little bit faster and then get to the goods from Commander Legends.
All right, we've got Zatalpa Primal Dawn. That's got a plethora of abilities.
Flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. Moving on.
Wormcoil Engine.
Lifelink and Death Touch. Moving on.
Oketra the True.
Double strike and indestructible. We've got a Lone Rider. You almost scrolled past it. First strike and lifelink.
What does that thing turn into? A 4/4 that does something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he turns into. Who cares?
We've got Avacyn Angel of Hope that's got flying and vigilance.
Also with flying or vigilance, we have Bygone Bishops, Baird Stewart of Argive, Dearly Departed, Elish Norn.
Ooh, baby. 100-handed one, CCO Classic.
Yeah, can block 99 creatures. Lyndon the Steadfast Queen.
Not to be confused with two-time Juno Award-winning Lyndon Smith. That's F.U. Joel's dad.
Seraph of the Suns has flying. Pristine Angel has flying. Shattered Angel has flying. And incredible artwork. Subjugator Angel has flying. And that's it.
Oh, and Thalia Heretic Cathar has first strike.
Yes.
So that's, in general, the creature suite. Those are the ones we care about. We've got some supplemental stuff like Grand Abolisher.
Grand Abolisher keeps you from activating abilities or playing spells on your turn.
Yeah, Mother of Ruins to give protection, to save your big Voltron-y type guy if you've got like an Audrey that has all these abilities, right?
We're playing the other Audrey, so when you've got your big team and they all have all these abilities, you can swing in and you get to choose how creatures block.
Yep.
So you can just say you don't block. It's like the Mindslaver combo that I always wanted to play.
Yeah.
Where you Mindslaver somebody to take control of their turn, and then you put a bunch of cheaty faces into play and say, you don't notice!
You don't notice.
Because you control them.
Mentor of the Meek, and here's our first, are we going to get something better than this? Card. Mentor of the Meek, 2/2 human soldier for white 2. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 1. If you do, draw a card. 2 questions. Is this a good card draw spell in white decks?
It's...
Or same question, even though it's a different question. Same question. Is this a good card draw spell in white decks, or is it just the best thing that we have? Hey, look at Sean Connery did die at 90. I just seen it on the news.
There it is. I told you.
Wow.
I think that in this deck, honestly, I don't think that it's that good. I think in general, what's that guy's name? Where if somebody attacks you with 2 dudes or plays their second dude, you draw a card? Magora from M21?
Oh, yeah, the Mangora the Diplomat?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that he's better. And in this deck, he's better, 1, because it doesn't cost you any more mana, and a lot of your creatures are 3 or bigger.
Are bigger than Mentor of the Meek cares about. We are playing Oketra the True, which gives us some tokens, and I think we've got some other token producers as well.
There's 100% a token sub-theme here, where you're going to get lots of tokens to let you go wide and defend yourself, but at the end of the day, I think that Mentor of the Meek might be a little bit too mana-intensive and a little bit too unreliable to actually draw you a card, whereas Magora is just going to draw you a bunch of cards.
Okay, so first thing with regards to Commander Legends when we look at it is, have we seen anything that's going to draw white cards or give us just that free card advantage with a card that's already on rate that we're already going to play? Right? Remember, white gleans its card advantage in unique ways. With board presence, or lack thereof, if you can spend your 1 card to wipe the board, you're going to play the long game, right? Or it's going to give you free tokens or free angels. Those are only good if they're on a card that's costed effectively enough to make us want to play it in the first place. Like
God Eternal Oketra.
Yes, or what is it? Helios Sun, the new Heliod? Helios Sun crowned? Helios Sun?
The one that puts +1/+1 counters on things?
Yeah, is it like
you gain life and you get to put +1/+1 counters on creatures?
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to play that already because it's a combo card and it's indestructible.
Yeah, that card is rad.
So then it gives us some benefit after it's a card that we already want to play. Elish Norn, 7 mana for a 4/7 vigilance?
Yeah.
Right? She's going to buff our guys. That's already a card that we want to play. Bonus is we're killing our opponent's creatures with the -2s.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. 4/7 vigilance that gives our opponents -2, we're already going to play that. We get the upside of having our guys get buffed so we can kill our opponents faster, right? White is going to glean its card advantages in non-traditional draw card from deck into hand ways. Let's look for that when we look at the CL cards, but let's also look to see if we've gotten any ways to just draw cards straight out. I want to move to White's second shortcoming, and that's like ramp and mana advantage, right? So maybe we move to artifacts and enchantments.
We can check out some artifacts, I suppose. For our ramp or rocks or whatever, we have a Caged Sun. I always like to count that one.
You do? I was going to say, do we count it? Because it costs 6.
I count it.
You count it? It's going to double your white. You're going to choose white, right?
It's what it's there for. We have an Aketra's Monument that makes your white stuff cost less, so it sort of counts. We've got a Sol Ring, a Thran Dynamo, and I'm going to count Sword of the Animus too, because it finds you lands and puts them into play tapped.
Sure. Now, this deck also has a land tax.
It does.
Do we count that card? Because that puts lands into hand, and that is something that we've seen in white and in Commander Legends in white, where if any opponent has more of something, land or otherwise, we can go and search or go and find or put a creature onto the battlefield. That's the kind of card advantage that I'm talking about. That isn't necessarily card draw. You might get a 1/1. You might get a land into hand. At what point does that start to count as drawing a card? Do you know what I mean?
Well, when you get 3 land into your hand, that probably works as a card, hey?
Do you count when you drop land tax like turn 1 when you're on the I guess everybody's on the play in Commander, or 3 people are. When you're not going first in Commander, you're going third, let's say, and you turn 1 land tax, and it comes back around to your turn. You start your turn with land tax. You have 1 land on the battlefield. Your opponents have 2. Do you count land tax as drawing you a second card, but it's 3 land? Or is that drawing 3 cards, or is it not drawing any cards?
I think getting 3 land out of your deck, maybe every turn.
Yes.
I think that counts as, that's actual thinning. That isn't, I'm going to drop fetches into my monocolor deck to thin the lands out. Getting 3 out of there is increasing your odds of, even marginally, of drawing an actual better card. So it increases the quality of your 1 card draw that turn. So
Yes.
I would count it probably as right.
Okay. And you know what? If I was thinking...
Because you're less likely to draw planes because you've pulled 3 of them out.
I was thinking, and I'm not exactly sure how the math checks out, right? I don't know. I haven't done it. I'm not a mathematician. But if I land tax turn 1 and I get trigger off of it on turn 2 and turn 3, it's not unrealistic to have that land tax stick around till turn 3 or greater. Like that's not Magical Christmas Land, right?
I've noticed in my experience, and truth be told, I played land tax wrong for years, and I only ever found planes with it, even in decks where I could have found other lands.
Yeah.
Because I'm stupid. But I've noticed that once it's already happened, people sort of forget you have it because you already put 3 land in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in a lot of people's minds, it already did its thing, so why waste a card killing that specific enchantment?
Yeah, they're going to get the Rhystic Study, the Mystic Remora, the Smothering Tithe.
There's always something worse.
Yeah.
Than a land tax that's already granted you some benefit.
I think that if you get 2 land tax triggers, let's say turn 2 and turn 3, and you get 6 land, I think that's the equivalent of drawing 2 cards.
Sure.
Maybe they're just land, but you're getting 2 extra land cards like onto the battlefield where you might not have had those in your hand. You know, you keep a 1-lander or a 2-lander with a land tax, provided you're going 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I think that's fine. When you talk about thinning, you get those 2 land triggers, or those 2 land tax triggers, 6 less cards in your deck. Maybe that's the functional equivalent of drawing 1 card because you've removed 6. Like, it depends on how many cards are left in your deck, what the odds percentage are to draw a non-land on your next draw, right? And that's where I haven't done the math, right? So if you know the land tax math, or if there's an article on it, maybe at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando.
At CCO Podcast on that one, because I don't want to read that. It's too many numbers.
Okay.
I'll let Ryan Coles notes it for me.
Let's move on. We've got kind of an equipment sub-theme because like Audrey can gain all the abilities of things, and it makes him tough to block. We've got Basilisk Collar, Blackblade Reforged, Chariot of Victory.
Let's actually read that one.
Give that one a read.
Chariot of Victory is an artifact for 3 that equips for 1. Equipped creature has First Strike, Trample, and Haste. I like that one.
Yes, and you know what? You have to remember that when you equip other creatures with these equipment that say equipped creature has, then Audrey will also gain those abilities.
And so will the rest of your team.
Yes.
Or is it just Audrey?
We'll give Audrey a read again.
Let's look again. It's creatures you control. It's your whole team.
That's actually really good.
That is awesome.
Okay, keeping that all in mind, Chittering Cloak, Gorgon Flail, Lightning Greaves, Rogue's Gloves, Skull Clamp. The Skull Clamp's just good. We don't really need to talk about that. And Swiftfoot Boots, again, like Greaves, we don't really need to talk about that. Yeah. We also have a Whisper Silk Cloak. The only thing you have to be careful with that is Shroud.
Yeah, you can't be equipping it or enchanting it once it has the Whisper Silk on because Shroud.
Yes, but Audrey doesn't gain Shroud if other creature has Shroud.
Also, the Rogue's Gloves does not grant an ability. It's actually a card draw card.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. 2-drop equipment, equips for 2. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So, in your mono white deck, you may choose not to draw a card. If your balls are huge and you are so far ahead that you just want to rub salt in the wounds, the lips are already off.
I got this. 99, 98, 97 planes, 1 land tax, 1 Rogue's Gloves, and it's like turn 15, 18. You've got turn 25. You've got all the lands out of your deck. You might not want to draw a card with Rogue's Gloves if you equip it to Audrey.
I'm trying to think of a time where you may draw a card and you don't.
If it damages you, like with Underworld Dreams. No, that's discard. No, that's Meager. Underworld Dreams in Necrozar. That's one.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. There's one example. There's one corner case example. Next time it's a man, I'm not drawing the card.
Mill your whole deck type thing, but you can kill somebody on the crackback. Yeah. Edge case scenarios. Let's move on.
Very corner case. So I guess that's it for the artifacts. Let's hit them enchantments. We're going to find some more of our token creature sub-theme stuff here.
Yeah, and remember, value generators after you've spent the card.
Like Angelic Accord.
At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 or more life, you get an angel.
Pretty good. Anointed Procession.
Doubles all your tokens.
Cathar's Crusade.
Puts +1s whenever you have a creature enter the battlefield.
Concentrated Effort.
Ooh, this is
Concerted Effort.
This is a Ravnica card. Look at that. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, all creatures you control gain flying until end of turn. If a creature you control has flying, the same is true for Fear, First Strike, Double Strike, Land Walk, Protection, Trample, and Vig. Like Audrey, but gives you a couple things that Audrey doesn't.
Pro tip. With Landwalk and Concerted Effort, you should play Trailblazer's Boots.
I like that one.
Because non-basic Landwalk is a Landwalk ability.
Yep.
And your creatures will be motherfucking unblockable.
Yeah, very much so. And I like that this one has Fear, too. Maybe you don't need Landwalk if you have Fear.
Because maybe they don't have artifact creatures or black creatures.
That's right.
Hell yeah. How about Dawn of Hope?
Ooh, okay. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Okay, there's another card drawer.
And you can pay 1 or white 3 to get a 1/1 soldier creature with lifelink.
Yeah. Are we gaining enough life? Do we care? Do we want to pay 2? Is there something better that we don't have to pay 2 so we can leave more of our mana up for our removal package? Because white's got that down pat. Mm-hmm. And we've got a mana sink right on this card that we might want to not pay if we want to draw cards.
There's lots of life gain in the deck where I don't think you're ever going to be hurting. Pay some mana to gain some life.
Like True Conviction.
Yes, True Conviction is a card that we're playing.
Creatures you control have double strike and lifelink.
That card will end games most of the time.
Very much so. And you know what? So will Smothering Tithe. We didn't include it in the ramp, but this is like the sneaky thing that's going to end games, right? This, unlike land tax, does give you a tangible, actual benefit. When your opponents draw cards, if they don't pay 2, you get a treasure token that you can sack for mana.
And every time we come across Smothering Tithe in a deck, I like to mention this because one of us said this was a really great card when it was spoiled, and the other one of us said it was not. Remember that, Ryan?
I do.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite how it went.
That's exactly how it went.
I said that it doesn't conform or fit into the regular box because it doesn't pay you back for like at least a round and a half of the table if nobody pays.
And who's laughing now?
Turns out Commander players like to draw cards. Let's move on. We've got to look at the spot removal. It's good, and the sweepers. I think white's 2 actual strengths. We've got Path to Exile, Lapse of Certainty, which is a white counterspell, puts it on top of their library. Mana Tithe, which is
just a counterspell.
That unless they pay 1,
they have to pay 1,
which they might not.
Nobody
get
expects
somebody, right?
white to counterspell.
I know,
them.
it's so good. It's so good. And we've got a Disenchant. And while that card's been outclassed, I know Callum's haven't altered one from me with that art. And that's why that card is in here.
Neat.
And then we've got like Enlightened Tutor, Fated Retribution, which destroys all creatures and planeswalkers. If it's your turn, scry 2, so you're getting a little bit of benefit. The point is, we're rushing through this deck a little bit. Sorry, Callum. We wanted to demonstrate that white has removal. We've got Mass Calcify, Ravnica at War, Wrath of God, Fated Retribution, couple counter spells in white, couple removal spells, and then some just generic sort of value generators. We want to rush through it to exemplify that white can do this.
It's white, and I've been saying this for a long time. People always, oh, white's so bad. And there was a time, and Brian remembers it, when I was like, fucking white. Because white, pound for pound, used to have, like, the card on the table would probably be
the most powerful top-end card.
Yeah, like, as much as we bitch about green, white does have a flying 6/6 lifelinker for 1. We can't forget that. Okay, white pays 3 mana and kills fucking everything.
What happened was the format got faster, more efficient, and all other cards got the ability to draw cards or increase number of cards that they can play faster than white did. And all cards, maybe not red, but red has rituals, have the ability to generate mana better, faster, more efficiently than white. So while white still has things like Ravnica at War, Mass Calcify, Fated Conflagration, whatever that card was that I said, they still have all the top-end best sweepers, most powerful things, but white doesn't get to the late game like it used to be able to when Commander was Crawworm Tribal.
Yeah, they used to be able to protect themselves with their very efficient, very good creatures and value engines and stuff, whereas now, before you can get those online, you've already been Mux Cannoned and you're dead.
You're dead. So let's look at what Commander Legends has added to the white color pool thus far.
All right, so keeping in mind that it is, the hell's the date today? October 31st, 2020, but we are looking at the so far spoiled white cards that have come out.
We've got 257 of the, 361 cards or whatever. So we're like 2/3 of the way there.
There's lots. There might be some other stuff that might go in here, but for right now, we're going to look at some of the stuff that's been previewed that may or may not fill some holes in a deck like this, or just kind of be a general good white thing. We're going to start off with a combo of cards that are both good for the same reason and both good in this deck.
One more caveat.
What?
One more caveat. This isn't our set review, and we're not going to hammer on all of the best or worst things in the colors that we're talking about. We're going to highlight things that are going to fit into this kind of deck, which, again, is what we think a fairly traditional mono-white list.
A go wide, not really weenie. It's like a weenie deck with a high-end late game.
Yes.
And now we've got some things that would go into this deck to help you survive to the late game or make your late game better.
Okay, good.
We're going to start with Archon of Coronation and Court of Grace. We'll talk about both of them.
Sure.
Archon of Coronation is a 5/5 flyer, so it's got synergy with, what's his name?
Audrey.
White 4, my least favorite converted mana cost. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. That is very important. What's the Monarch, Ryan?
Monarch is at the end of your turn, if you're the Monarch, you draw a card. And if you're attacked with, if somebody else attacks you and deals combat damage, they become the Monarch. They take it from you.
So then you got to hit them back and steal the crown.
You see the set review time. You see the new Monarch tokens that don't have a typo?
Garbage.
Yeah, I'm only playing the old one with the typo.
Goddamn right. I'm only using my little cardboard crown that I got. Archon of Coronation also says on it, as long as you're the Monarch, damage doesn't cause you to lose life.
Oh, baby. So we can, with our indestructible Creech, just crash in whenever the fuck we want. Because Archon of Coronation could be indestructible if we, for example, control Audrey and control an indestructible thing like Oketra.
Very important.
Crash in.
Important. I think that this is worded in such a way so if somebody cracks you back because you left yourself open, they steal the Monarch from you. Because you still take the damage, you just don't lose life from it. So it doesn't prevent damage. That's important to note.
Yeah, it doesn't say prevent that damage, so the damage is still done, but then you don't lose life, so they can take the Monarch. We don't really care. Sure, we want to be the Monarch because we're white and we want to draw cards. Our desire, our need to draw cards is greater than other colors, but if we can just, like I said, make a bunch of tokens, you play that thing that makes all your tokens 4 flying angels instead.
Angelic Visitation, I believe.
Yeah, if we play that kind of thing instead and we just smash face in, we've got all these creatures, we're going to talk about some things that are going to buff them, then we can just kill you. Yeah.
Speaking of Angelic Visitation, I mentioned Court of Grace. When it comes into play, you become the Monarch again. Good move. And it also says at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the Monarch, which you will be, create a 4/4 white angel creature token instead.
There it is.
So very good.
There it is. The only thing you have to be careful of with stuff like this is when you put the angel into play, to encourage you to stay the Monarch, you might not want to attack because your stuff taps when it attacks and it can't block, then you lose Monarch status. But if these angels or any angels that you have Vigilance, which some of them do, or if you have Audrey and Vigilance, they will, that's a really good combination. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Moving on.
I think another card that works really good in a token, not a token-based deck, but a deck with a maybe subtle token-based sub-theme, and in one where we've got enchantments like this deck does, where you can just make a creature token whenever you want. Court Street Denizen, I think, is going to be a little bit of a sleeper card in decks like this.
Whenever another white creature enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature an opponent controls.
So they go to combat with their great big beater. You make a 1/1 human or something, tap their big creature down, and then you fight it with a fucking Brash Taunter. Hell yeah!
I was gonna say that is a very defensive way to say it or to play it. If you are trying to stretch it out to the long game, get to the long game to play your Wrath with a bunch of indestructible cards, you could use this card in this kind of deck offensively, where you might not have the trample enabler for Audrey. You might have the
Double Strike or Haste. Or
your Elish Norn or something that buffs your guys. Well, you can make a couple tokens, tap their blockers, smash.
Yeah.
I love smashing.
I like slapping lips. That's important.
Yeah. Speaking of slapping lips, this guy fucks, I think. This is Keeper of the Accord. And this is the first one where it's sort of like do something to get a benefit, or your opponents do something, we get a benefit from it, like to equalize the benefit, like land tax. So give this guy a read.
I think this is going to be one of those cards that shows up in a lot of decks in the future. Keeper of the Accord is a human soldier, 3/4 for 3 and a white. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that creature controls more creatures than you do, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you search your library for a basic plains and put that shit into play tapped.
That is a good ability. You're ramping, I'm going to ramp. Now, I get 1 card to my opponent's 3 ramp cards, or I get 1 plains to my opponent's 2 or 3 ramp forests.
You know what you were going to get before?
Nothing.
So it's better.
Now I get tokens and a 3/2 body for 4. So it's a card that I might want to play already in my white attack-based token deck. Now I'm just getting ramp now, or vice versa. I play this card for the ramp ability, and it gives me tokens that I can maybe just chump block with, but maybe I can attack with them.
New CCO keyword.
Uh-huh.
What is that fish that like sucks onto the bottom of bigger fish and like eats barnacles off of its belly?
A Remora.
Remora. This card has Remora.
Not to be confused with Mystic Remora.
A bigger, stronger, more impressive fish is doing better stuff than we're doing, and we're just hanging on fucking doing stuff too. Remora. It's like Snake. Except Remora. That's what we got. Yeah.
We could make an entire deck like that eventually, right? We could play Land Tax and Keeper of the Accord, and I think there's a couple others that do
just
that,
play
right?
mono white, stay in the back.
Yep.
And you're so far behind the whole game that you just catch up and now you're ahead.
Yeah.
And then people just kill you.
Yeah, most likely. Okay, we've got a couple others. This is Patron of the Va Valiant.
The 4/4 angel for white 3 with flying that enters the battlefield and puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yes, great with Cathar's Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
It's got flying, so great with Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
This fits in that deck, in the deck we're talking about today. The deck that, and lots of white decks do, that cares about +1/+1 counters.
I think what white's been getting a lot of over the last little while, and I'm not the first person to notice this, obviously, but they're using their ultra efficient creatures and then dumping +1/+1 counters on them to make them efficient and good in the late game too.
Yep.
And so cards like this, you think, oh, well, I have to do work to make it any good. But it's probably stuff you're already doing anyway because you're playing mono white.
Yep.
And that's just what
for
they
sure.
do.
Okay, next up, our first legendary. Do we want to talk about this guy? This is Prava of the Steel Legion. Parva. How do I say it?
Prava.
Prava. Yeah, I got it. Of the
Prava-
Steel Legion.
The 1/4 with the 1/4 for white 2, as long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get +1/+4, and you can pay white 4 to create a 1/1 white soldier creature. Why isn't that a cat?
White 3. It is a cat soldier.
No, why isn't the token a cat? Cats always make cats.
Oh, I get
Cats
it.
don't make dudes. Cats make cats.
Well, they might
That's
be cats.
biology.
They might be cats, but we don't care. We just care that they're soldiers and they're going to fight.
I care that they're cats.
It actually makes, on your turn, it actually makes 2 5s. That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's good. And if you have this guy or other things like it that are already in the deck that you pay 4 to make a token with your Cathar's Crusade, with your Patron of the Valiant, right? With your Vigilance Granters, your 2 5s are going to attack really fucking good.
Yeah.
Really well. And all of a sudden, white's going to get a big board presence because you guys are going to be indestructible, vigilant. You're going to slap lips. You're going to stomp dinks into the dirt. And white's going to stop caring so much about drawing 3 or 4 cards a turn. And white is just going to start like showing up with boxing gloves on, I think.
Having stuff, I think that having sinks and cards that do stuff on the table, it gives you something to do each turn. And yeah, it's not the same as drawing a card or whatever, obviously. But I mean, it gives you some play to kind of make up for the fact that maybe you've only got 1 or 2 cards in your hand and they're removal you're keeping up.
If you can do stuff, right? If you can contribute,
yeah,
right? And sometimes not contributing is political. Sometimes contributing is political. Sometimes just having the ability to say, oh, draw, wish this was a whatever, but it's actually like a fucking Path to Exile, and then say go, and nobody does anything to fuck with you. And then at the end of like player 4's turn, you just go, oh, I'll make 2 soldiers. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine because when it comes back around to you, you've got a bunch of 2 5s, 3 5s, 8 10s, whatever they are, like because you got all these pump effects, right?
Yeah.
I think we got 2 more cards to talk about, and I want to first talk about Slash the Ranks. This is a sorcery, white 3, destroy all creature and planeswalkers except for commanders.
Cool card. I think in this deck in particular, Mass Calcify is better because it doesn't kill any of your shit.
Yep.
But I can see this one. You could probably, like you say, engineer a scenario where this one is a very good card because it kills planeswalkers, whereas Mass Calcify does not.
Yep.
And provided they're not playing a heavily commander-focused Voltron strategy, you're probably going to do some damage with this.
Yeah, you can fabricate it such that like maybe somebody's do less or do nothing commanders on the battlefield, you don't care, but there's a bunch of creatures and we have our commander, or our guys are indestructible. Which is the same for every week. I know, like, no Wrath is going to get an indestructible guy, right?
Yeah, well, some of them do.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You can fabricate scenarios where this card is good, and instead of paying 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever that white Wrath costs, maybe this 5-drop is going to fit into white decks, and I like this one.
Is white 3 the new standard for Wrath effects?
Yeah.
Like, Wrath of God will always just be better?
Yes, the white 3 is what it costs now to destroy all creatures, but usually it's associated with some marginal upside, like Fumigate, where you gain life.
Yeah.
Or like this, where you can keep your commander. I like this in partner decks that maybe have like a white planes or a white partner commander, then like a planeswalker commander partnered. You can keep 2 things. That's good. My last card I wanted to talk about was Promise of Tomorrow. Mother ass Max Crandell got this card to preview.
F you, Max Crandell.
And Dana Roach.
F you, Dana.
And Chris.
Screw you, Chris.
Yep. But good
guys.
on them. They got this card. And you know what? I'm happy they got it and not us because it's our boy, fucking Zeb McKinnon. Maybe that's why we don't get preview card. I don't know.
It is an enchantment for white 2. Whenever a creature you control dies, you exile it instead of putting it into the G yard. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no creatures, you sack this and return all creatures exiled with it to play.
So we cast Wrath of God. Just dust everything and it gets exiled from our own graveyard. Then we say, go. We get all our shit back.
Yeah.
It's kind of a build your own in Garrick's Wake. It's kind of a build your own Plague Wind.
Build your own Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah, it costs 2 cards, but you're killing everything instead of bouncing everything, right? Which is cool. And we get it back. It's not like we're saving our things. We're getting them back. So any ETB effects are going to be great. Granted, I haven't listened to the Commander Central where they previewed this card. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm sure they break it down very eloquently, and there's a lot more to say about it than we're going to cover like in the minute that we talk about it. But I like this, and I think there's a place for it in decks like the one we featured today,
Absolutely,
and like other white decks that want to play all of the things that are going to just sweep the board, get you to the late game. Because you're going to build. You're going to be the one that people are looking to sweep. You can sweep now and not have to care about the repercussions or rebuilding slower than the mono green guy that drew like 8 cards last turn that can just dump his whole hand.
He drew 85 cards and played 16 lands, and you kill all of his stuff, and he's like, yeah, whatever, I'll just play it all again from my fucking graveyard.
Yes. Yeah. Or the black guy that could do the same thing, or the blue card, or the blue player that can just do it all with artifacts. Like, this is going to allow the white player to do it. It's just a little bit of a build your own.
I dig that. I like build your own stuff.
But it is an enchantment, so it does fit into what white, like kind of the other stuff that white might want to do, or white-based decks might want to do with enchantments.
You want to talk about other things that white wants to do, Ryan?
Sure.
Let's talk about how white likes to gain life.
Sure.
White loves gaining life.
I love gaining life.
And white likes to remora people, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so how about Seraphic Greatsword? How big of a piece of fucking shit is this?
More like
I know that we
flaccid greatsword.
I know we were gonna talk. We're gonna see all the good things, but every so often they print something like Seraphic Greatsword, and this card sucks so bad that we have to take a minute to just say how badly it sucks, because we know it and everybody else knows it. But somebody has to say it, and just because somebody previewed this poor thing and they had to say they were excited about it. And I'll bet you they feel like assholes now.
Yep.
Seraphic Greatsword is an equipment for white 1, equips for 4, equipped creature gets +2/+2, and whenever equipped creature attacks the player with the most life, so yourself, you get to create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking that player. So you can just swing in it yourself for at least fucking 6.
Why couldn't it have at least said the player with the greatest life total who isn't you?
Right? Then it would be good. Then it would be a mythic. But no. It has to be, if you are doing what white likes to do in order to provide itself with survivability, which is gain life, you have to suck at it, or this equipment doesn't fucking do anything.
Well, leave it up white and sucky at something. So, I mean, it's got that going for it.
I guess it's on theme.
Yes.
Maybe this card isn't so bad. It's right on theme.
Come full circle.
I like it now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope I open one of these in foil. Goodness, I hope that this is my extended art foil rare I get in my collector boosty box. Yeah.
Every pack.
Every pack.
I'm going to get a bunch of them, and I'm going to repack just like I did with the one red card that you wanted.
Skewer the Critics.
Skewer the Critics, yeah.
I'll bet you'll be able to buy these for less than a Skewer the Critic.
Yeah, most likely.
Come like a week after release. So I just wanted to make a point to that. So that's the deck.
That's the deck. Those are some of the cards that we think would either fit or fit the theme, the strategy of mono white in general. Do you think that Commander Legends did a good job kind of bolstering what white already does, or what it doesn't do so well? That's the spectrum. What does it do? Did it help that? What doesn't it do so well? Did it help that? Did it move both needles to the left?
I don't think that I've seen anything in this set as of October 31st, 2020, that really advances the white beat the shit out of whatever is in front of you type strategy just yet. But
Okay.
what they did was they bolstered your ability to do that by giving you cards.
So it didn't help the bottom end of what white needs help with, but it did help the top end of what white's already good at.
Exactly.
Okay.
It helped you survive through your little wieners attacking, and it gives you options to draw cards, like with Court with Grace and Archon, where it's going to give you new things. It's going to protect that life total that white worries about so much. It's going to give you opportunities to tap down your creatures. There's a couple of ramp cards and a couple of your own guys from your own shit cards in here.
Yep.
Lots of good stuff going on, and I think that white's game plan is going to tick up. I don't think that it's solved the air quotes white problem where Like, I can't draw any cards. I can't ramp as good.
That's the kind of thing like Red had going on for the last few years where they're solving the red card draw problem, which now is like pretty good.
Yeah.
But the white card draw, the red or the white ramp, like how do we do that? They're solving that, and you have to kind of roll that out slowly. It's like it's not just a problem that they print like white skull clamp and the problem goes away. Right? They have to roll it out slowly. That makes sense for the game and the set, and that just takes time. And I think, sure, we dunk on white, and everybody does, but it's not something that they can just go like, Commander Legends fucking white, and they print 360 white cards, and then, oh, the problem's fixed. That's not how Magic works.
I think what they've decided to do instead, and I think they've illustrated it here, and we have as well, is they're just using an existing mechanic that is pretty white in Monarch.
Yep.
To just give white the opportunity to draw cards, because it's end of turn and white likes to attack. That's how it's probably going to win. So having a Monarch in the game is pretty good.
Yep.
And
I think they've introduced Monarch across multiple colors.
Yep.
But the point is the white cards that got it are cards that we might want to play in our white decks.
Yeah, they're
right?
probably cards that you're going to have because they're going to contribute to your strategy and have the benefit of you're probably going to draw cards, and you're going to have the ability to become the Monarch again because you
attacking.
You have 38 fucking dudes, and they're all attacking every turn.
Yeah. Look at Brando. He said nice stuff about mono white.
I will shut up.
It is the arc of good vibes.
God damn it. Why can't it be the arc of Brando vibes where I just
I talk
fart
about Brash
into the
Taunter
mic
every week.
Exactly. No, we did that a week ago.
Yeah, this is my master plan. This is my master plan. It's like a super ultra macro arc where I try to like convince you of things that you don't believe in. Okay, so that is Callum Brownstar's deck. Congrats on the new, future dadhood, I guess. I seen him got shot with a paintball gun to see if it was a boy or a girl. Far better than burning down an entire state.
Yes.
Maybe next time people in California should try that.
Agreed.
Shooting each other with paintball guns. Paintball guns.
Paintball.
If you want to pick up any Commander Legends stuff, it's on pre-order right now, FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use promo code CCOFusion5 at checkout because you can get 5% off your order on singles once those are available, or if you are buying sealed product, it lets that Fusion know that Commander Cookout sent you. Their deal with us is a good one.
And it is, because we're badass and so are you.
Very much so. And we're talking about mono white and that people should play it.
What's wrong with us? What is wrong with us?
Give us a final thought of the day. Thank our sponsors one more time. Send us out, and big F you to everybody. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to everybody. Big F you. Please be safe if you have gone out. I hope that everything went well and your candy is good and your teeth are rotting and your waistline is busting.
Yeah, I love a good busting waistline.
Big thanks to FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs. They are also our sponsors. They help to keep us the lights on. Help us keep the lights on, rather. To help us bring episodes like this to you each and every week. Thank you as well for being here to have us in your ear holes and your eye holes or any other hole that you like to partake of the show through. We wouldn't be here without you. I think that this deck is a very good one. You should take a look at the list. And maybe add yourself down in the comments. What do you think? Is there Commander Legend stuff that you would add to this deck? Is there Commander Legend stuff that we didn't talk about that you think would go in this? Or in Mono White? Is there something you're really excited about? Let us know. CCO Podcast, CCO Brando, Commander Cookout at gmail.com. Hit us up at any of those places with things that you're excited about, especially if you have a Mono Red or Mono Black list that you think that we should add into this sub-arc. And we'll be back next week with another exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!